Hi everyone and welcome to my beautiful home here in Sweden. As you all know, I took a few weeks of a well-deserved vacation just to come back here and just enjoy this beautiful Swedish paradise. At least that was the plan, but although I've only been back home in Sweden for a few weeks, I already have a huge list of things that I miss from Taiwan and actually things that I took for granted while living in Taiwan and who now actually are making me at least somewhat regret leaving Taiwan. Number one, and arguably the biggest difference between Taiwan and Sweden is the general service. For example, something that is not a big deal at all, but it's something that will happen to you almost on a daily basis, is that if you do go into a grocery store, they will actually not help you pack in the products into the bags. It's like a little bit annoying after living in Taiwan and being spoiled for 11 years. It takes me like 1 second to realize that, oh shit, I have to do this myself now. But of course, not a huge deal. It's just that every single time I go into the grocery store, I'm like, damn, I miss Taiwan. It was a lot nicer shopping groceries in Taiwan. And in the same category, something that I witnessed when I was waiting for my second bus from the Stockholm airport. As I was sitting there was actually a couple arriving in a cab to the airport, and they actually had to walk around and take out their luggage all by themselves. The cab employee did not go out and even assist them taking out the luggage. And I just saw that straight from Taiwan, straight from the airport, and I'm like, yeah, now you're back in Sweden. So the general service is definitely on top of the list. And then very much similar to the overall service, it's just the overall friendliness of the people. The normal Swede that you will meet on the street. Specifically if you would compare Stockholm with Taipei. I think if you live in the capital, you are in general a little bit more stressed. You walk a little bit faster up those escalators if you do live in a capital. But in Stockholm, literally no one will spare a single second just looking around, even trying to help you or see if you need any help. Whereas in Taipei, I literally cannot walk more than like 5 seconds looking lost without a fellow Taiwanese will actually come up and proactively help me when they see that I am struggling with a broken suitcase or that I am looking for signs and directions anywhere in an airport just trying to find a bus all the way home. Now, some of you might say, but Lucas, you do look 100% like a Swede and you look nothing like a Taiwanese. So of course the Taiwan people know that you are lost and they know that you don't really belong here. Well, if you think so, you would be wrong, because I can guarantee you that Stockholm people just treat you like shit and try to ignore you as much as possible, regardless of how you look like. Number 3 on the list, and arguably the most important one, is the overall safety of the different countries. If you do follow me on social media such as Instagram and Facebook, you know that last week I was in Stockholm to make a bunch of different videos, but sadly there will not be a vlog from that trip, just because I was traveling alone with my camera bag filled with camera equipment for over 100,000 Taiwanese dollars, and I got some new samples of next generation raw juice, which is just priceless if you ask me. So I actually did not dare to just put down all my stuff on the street in Stockholm, take up my camera and just walk up and down to record a video for you guys. Whereas if I would be in Taiwan, I could pretty much leave my bag open with all my camera and my juice in it and just come back maybe even the next day and all that stuff will still be there. And even my mom, as soon as she heard that I was gonna go all by myself 4 hours away to Stockholm, spending the night in Stockholm all by myself, she was more worried and more scared than me spending 11 years across the world in Taiwan, because my mom has been to Taiwan several times and she knows exactly how safe it is. She has been walking from Guting to Dam Park a whole day all by herself, and Taiwan is actually the only country in the entire world she dares to travel to by herself, just because she knows that once she has made it to Taiwan, someone will make sure that she is safe and will take care of her until she actually meets me in Taipei. So just remember, Taiwan number 1, 安全第一. And something that is by far not as important but just as annoying is that in Taiwan we can get 24-hour delivery pretty much anywhere we want, whereas here in Sweden we actually just got Amazon here in Sweden, I think last year. Turns out that it's 10 days delivery to our home here in Sweden, which is you know, pretty much useless because we do go into the big city once per week. So it will actually be faster just to wait until we do our weekly grocery shopping and then go and see what we can buy in the big city ourselves. So although not as important as the general safety, 24-hour delivery, no matter where you are in the country, is something that I absolutely miss from living in Taiwan. And speaking about safety, we're gonna see if I can actually leave this boat without getting wet so we can continue with the rest of this video. Wish you could buy a pair of new shoes with 24-hour delivery. And next up on the list, and arguably the most important one if you are coming as a tourist visiting Sweden, is that you will not get access to free public toilets here in Sweden. In Taiwan we are super spoiled. I think pretty much every single public toilet, if it would be in a department store, if it's on a bus station, or even inside the MRT. For those of you who never visited Taiwan or a Taipei MRT station, the way it works is that we do have public bathrooms inside the actual MRT station, so you actually have to go inside, beep your car so you are in the system before you can get something out of your system. But if you do go up to the staff there, you just tell them that I just want to go into the station, use the bathroom and then come out again. They will 100% of the time let you go in for free, do what you need to do in the toilet and then come out again the same way. Whereas here in Sweden, even in a department store, and even if you have purchased something from that same department store, you still have to pay 30 Taiwanese dollars just to go into the bathroom. And it's actually the exact same thing at Stockholm Central Station as well. So before you come here to Sweden, or at least go out in public, just make sure that you plan your buddy needs or a credit card that will cover all those costs when nature calls. And speaking about having to go when you have to go, one thing that I absolutely miss from Taiwan are the super cheap gas and transportation costs. I don't remember exactly how much 1 liter of gas costs in Taiwan, but I will guess it's still around 30-32 NT. In Sweden it is currently 62 NT for 1 liter of gas, and pretty much any distance here in Sweden is at least double the distance compared to Taiwan. So if you do want to go to the dentist, if you want to go grocery shopping, if you do want to go on a full weekend camping adventure, just remember that there is a Swede out there who has it 4 times as bad as you have. And because of this super high gas price, the Swedish government is of course trying to do whatever they can to improve the public transportations with buses and trains. That must mean that taking a train or bus here in Sweden must still be pretty cheap, right? Try to take a guess how much a single bus ticket in Stockholm costs from one bus station to another, maybe just 50-100 meters down the street. You were wrong. No matter what you guessed, you were wrong. It's 112 Taiwanese dollars for just one single bus ticket in Stockholm. In Taiwan, it's around, I think, 15 or 30 NT, depending on where you want to go in, for example, Taipei City. In Stockholm, it's the same price no matter where you want to go in Stockholm. You pay for 75 minutes of a bus. Even if you just want to go literally 2 minutes down the street, maybe only 1 or 2 bus stations, it's the same price for everyone, and the bus ticket is valid for 75 minutes. It is so stupid, and to make this even worse, I did that when I was in Stockholm only so I could know the price and show this beautiful clip of the Stockholm bus experience. So please do enjoy these few seconds of Stockholm bus sightseeing trip because it cost me literally over 100 Taiwanese dollars just to get this video for you. But with all this high cost both for car, bus and train, at least it has to be fast, reliable and convenient, right? Again, you could not be more wrong regarding Swedish public transportation. It is actually so bad, so I will make another separate video about this. But long story short, even a few days before I was supposed to take this trip, my entire ticket got cancelled, so I had to just rebook pretty much the same trip one more time. Then it was finally time to go over to Stockholm. My first bus was delayed, so I missed my second train, so I had to buy a second train ticket for full price, of course, just so I could make sure to still catch my third train, which then turned out to be completely cancelled. So I had to once again buy another train ticket so I could actually reach my meeting with Raw in Norrköping, and then over to Stockholm, where all sort of things happens, which you will see in future videos as well. Point is that although even public bus is super expensive, public transportation is just terrible here in Sweden compared to Taiwan. So although we are trying to live as environmental friendly as possible and definitely as cheap as possible, we all have jobs, we all have places we need to go in times we need to be there. So we don't really have that much choice. And speaking about things that are not reliable at all, I had no idea how bad internet and 4G connection could be before I came back here to Sweden. Don't get me wrong, I've always had bad internet when I've been here in Sweden, but I have lived in Taiwan for the past 11 years. So when I left Sweden to live in Taiwan, there was no Google Maps, there was no one watching YouTube on a phone like half of you are doing right now, and something else that half of you are doing are not subscribing to this channel. So please, if you are watching YouTube on a phone right now from Taiwan, please do help me by subscribing to this channel to show your support, and also share this video with someone who might be a little bit interested in finding out how great of a life you actually have in Taiwan, where you can watch YouTube on your phone anywhere in Taiwan. Because in Sweden, people seem to brag a lot that we have a great internet, which is true in the places and locations we do have internet. But if you do live out on the countryside, you very quickly will find out that you will maybe not even have internet coverage half of your day. Purple or dark color is where you have really good 4G coverage. Then you have the yellow or the orange line where you only have the basic 3G, which by the way already gets rid of Instagram and YouTube, since you barely can do anything with only 3G. And then we have the white or the empty spaces here where you absolutely have no cell phone reception at all. Turns out that all my friends and family live along this route on this map, but thankfully there is one other app you can still use even if you don't have any internet at all, and that is of course Skillshare. As you all should know by now, Skillshare is an online learning community with literally over thousands of different classes, which can teach you pretty much anything you need to know, everything from design and how to edit and record YouTube videos. When I was over in Stockholm, again, I honestly did not dare to bring out my expensive camera and just have my entire camera bag lying there on the street. So actually the only video I recorded in Stockholm, which will be a future video later on this channel, was 100% recorded on my iPhone, which is super new to me, which is why I decided to take the class iPhone Filmmaking Create Cinematic Video with Your Phone by Caleb Babcock and Niles Gray, who both are filmmakers at the moment. And another thing that you should know by now is that this is the main reason for why I love Skillshare so much. It doesn't matter what you want to learn, Skillshare has it, and they only are using the best of the best. In this case, filmmakers from a moment to teach you everything you need to know on how to use your phone to create cinematic movies and also some hopefully enjoyable YouTube videos later on this channel as well. And the fact you can actually download all these lessons to your phone as well. So it doesn't matter if you're 10,000 meters up, stuck in the middle of a crowded seat while just watching over those free emergency seats, or if you are 10,000 meters out in the Swedish forest without any internet connection at all, you can still continue all your lessons with Skillshare, which to me is absolutely priceless. And something else that also do not have a price is that one free month of Skillshare if you are among the first 1,000 people who click the link down in the description. That way you can actually try out Skillshare in your own pace, both online, offline, on a computer, on your phone, and all 100% free. But something that is absolutely not free at all, unless you decide to stay a month with your parents here in Sweden, is of course food. And it would take forever to go through all different kinds of delicious food you can buy here in Sweden. But I do wanted to say that when I was traveling in Stockholm, it was impossible for me to find any kind of just cheap survival food. For example, most of the time when I am recording my videos in Taiwan, I just want to go somewhere else, chasing another waterfall or trying another hike. So I will just go into 7-Eleven, get a blueberry bagel and a tadabe binati janongso, which I think will cost around 120 Taiwanese dollars. But if you go into a 7-Eleven in Stockholm, they literally have no cheap anything food related. They have some fruits, one banana for like 60 NT. But when it comes to sandwiches or food, the cheapest sandwich, which is one of these triangle sandwiches, is 180 Taiwanese dollars. Of course, it is much nicer than the 30 NT sandwiches you can get in Taiwan, but we just don't have anything cheap. So if you do decide to come here to Sweden, or if you do complain that, for example, a tea egg has increased from 10 to 18 NT, again, please still appreciate what you have in Taiwan and just know that there is one even more miserable Swede out there somewhere. I know that normally we do not appreciate things before they are gone, but please do trust me, as I have been away from Taiwan for a few weeks. Taiwan hospitality is not something we want to lose. Taiwanese people is not something we want to lose. So please do at least me a favor and start to appreciate Taiwan, this amazing country, a little bit more. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lukas. Starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one.